Welcome to Coach's Corner, everybody. I'm your host, Coach Tripp. It's a four-wheel drive show. My buddy Bill Pendock to your right on the screen, my high school teammate and Syracuse University great, and Blaze Winter below, his teammate at Syracuse University. Four-wheel drive, part of Timmy Green and Jamie Kimmel, the other two members of the four-wheel drive. It's a sad day today as Billy and I are mourning one of our high school coaches, as you can see behind me.
What happened?
Coach Erv passed away yesterday.
Man.
Yeah, Coach Erv Chambliss. What a man. What a beautiful person. If you want
sorry to hear that, man. I am sorry to hear that.
Yeah, our hearts are heavy, man. What a beautiful person. What a beautiful person Erv was. Coached football, lacrosse, and basketball in college. Yeah, for 30 years. Union, his alma mater, University of Rochester. What a beautiful person. It was sudden death. But I want to, I think I'm going to replay his show. I sat down with him and had him tell his story back in October 28th. So if you go on my YouTube channel or Facebook page, probably YouTube channel, it's archived, but I'm going to play his show again because we did get to hear his story, and now his great grandkids will hear it from his mouth. And that's why we do the show. So rest in peace, Erv. Job well done, man. We love you and miss you. And what an impact he had on thousands of lives, thousands of other people's lives. Billy, taken too soon, Billy. He was a good man. He grew up in Tuskegee, Alabama, one of 11 kids. Never knew it. His father was killed in an uncommon manner in the South in the 50s. That's right. Wow. And it was the hands of people that shouldn't have been doing what they were doing. So his mother took his 10 siblings and him and went up north and built a great life. So his story, let's say we'll try to do it on Saturday again this week. But hearts are heavy. Guys, thanks for being on the show. This is brought to you by Sandy Sansing Chevrolet. Go see our fine folks here in Pensacola, over in Foley in Baldwin County, Alabama, or over in Milton for the Miltonites. But this week we're going to talk about big plays. And what are big plays? When do they come? How many are in a game? So I hope you enjoy it, and then we'll tell some stories about some big plays in our career, whether playing or coaching. You know, every football game has big plays. And usually, as my old coach in college, Bear Bryant, said, there are usually 5 to 7 big plays in every game. And they can come at any time on special teams, from a block kick, a return for a TD, a successful fake. They can come on offense, an explosive play, another coaching term vernacular, a play that has big yardage, chunk plays they call them. Plays that turn the tide, pun intended, can be from the defense. For example, a sack, interception, fumble recovery, pick six. But big plays, you know, they're not relegated just to turnovers or touchdowns. And I'll give you an example. You may have heard me talk about how critical the last 5 minutes of the first half are and the first 5 minutes of the second half are of a football game. Well, I was coaching at Tate High School about 10, 12 years ago, and it was my first year after being 8 years at Catholic High School. And it was my first year as a defensive coordinator. We were 3-1 going up against the powerhouse in our league, Pine Forest. We were clinging to a 7-0 lead late in the second quarter. Pine Forest offense was getting close to the red zone. They were inside our 20-yard line, but time was running out on Pine Forest. On the last play of the first half, I remember the quarterback scrambling right down the middle of the field. When he broke through our front 7, I saw him heading to the goal line. 15, 10, 5.
No.
Here come a couple defenders. 4 of them to be exact. All 4 DBs converged at the same time on the Pine Forest quarterback, brought him down at the 1-yard line as time ran out in the first half. We went on to win 35-0 and had a 4-game win streak. However, if that Pine Forest quarterback had scored and tied the game 7-7 at half, it would have given them all the momentum. That was not only a pivotal play in the game, but it was a pivotal play in our season. And as a coach, I constantly stress how important it was to swarm to the ball, especially when plays go away from you to the other side of the field. I'll always remember what a big play that was. It included no touchdown, no turnover, no big crushing tackle or spectacular one-handed interception. No, sir. It was an assisted tackle by 4 DBs hustling to the ball, and it just so happened to be at the 1-yard line with no time left. It was one of my proudest moments as a coach. There are usually somewhere between 7 and the big plays in every game. The only problem is you never know when, where, how, or to whom it's going to happen. And I learned this from my coach, Coach Bryant. He would preach the gospel to our players, and they followed it to a T. If you go all out on every play, all 11 guys, someone will be in on that 5 to 7 big plays in every ball game. Guys, big plays happen everywhere in every single game. You see it in the national championship game. You see it in the Super Bowl. Can you guys think of a time when you made a big play in a game or a big play that turned the tide, turned the momentum?
Billy, you know darn well we had a few together. Toward the end of 1983. I know, a long time ago, right, Bill? Toward the end of that season, playing for Syracuse, I mean, it was critical that we, turn this into a winning season. And we had, Doug Flutie coming in and his powerful offense. And then we had Oliver Luck coming in the week after with their powerful offense. And it was really a statement of the game for the four-wheel drive. It was a game that, hey, you either get to the quarterback or you're probably going to lose. And the pressure was on us, right, Billy? The pressure was on. And, O'Leary made it clear, you're the front cover of the Boston College game. You're on the cover of the program. You're sitting in a Jeep, and it was supposed to be Billy's truck. And anyway, the beautiful part about big plays in a D line light in the four-wheel drive, the beautiful part is, hey, man, one guy was setting up for another. So the big play for one person like me or Jamie or Tim was set up a lot of times by the pressure inside by Billy. I mean, Billy pushed the pocket, Blaze gets a sack, we all celebrate, and the momentum would obviously turn in our favor. Mm-hmm. Not only was it a loss of yardage and down, but it was, standing over the quarterback, which is the most powerful person on a football field. And those are memories that I'll never forget. I'll never forget how it changed the complexion of the whole defense, of the way people would play an offense, and even the fan engagement was different from that moment on. I mean, a sack against Oliver Luck, against Doug Flutie, to go on to win the Heisman. Holy mackerel, man. Those are moments that are forever changing, not only in that moment on the field, but, man, for a lot of us, right, Bill, the rest of our lives.
You guys beat BC and Doug Flutie in '83 when we lost to him in '83 in Alabama. Did you guys sack Flutie?
Yeah, we had him a few times in that legendary photograph, right, Bill, of us high-fiving over his body. He's the one laying on the field. That little runt is laying on the field, and big plays that you give yourself credit, but it's really set up by a lot of great play around you.
Right.
And a lot of unselfish players around you help you get that interception, help you get that punt return, help you land the big run. Those old linemen never get any credit, but they open up the holes. You saw that in the way Seattle handled the game in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, for me, yeah, I can pat myself on the back and say, yeah, I remember that sack. But I mean, it really for us and the show being about the 4-wheel drive and teaching young players about doing things right. Hey, man, you're going to elevate everybody around you, right, Bill? Everybody around you by your unselfish play and also by your big play that'll change the complexion of the morale for the rest of the game.
Right. Billy, you remember big plays?
Well, yeah, I mean, to extend on Blaze's point, the point here that people should understand that we talk about week in and week out, and everything comes back to playing as a team. When you talk about big plays, they all come about from the other 10 guys doing their job. I mean, there's, if it wasn't for the other 3 guys doing what they did, there wouldn't be a big play. It wasn't for the offensive line blocking. You wouldn't have a big play. I think back, and I mean, I got a lot of examples of guys I played with, the guys I coached that had made big plays. And I to start, I talk about, you think about every team, when you think about the teams we all played on, we played on many different teams. And there's always that one guy in offense or defense that's a big play guy. You can remember, if you think back, and I can pick out the guys. And then one of my biggest examples is when I played at the Jets, and a guy by the name of Mark Gastineau I played with.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to be serious for a minute. Now I'm very fortunate to call Mark a friend of mine. Not a close friend, but I got to be really, really good friends with him. And
wow.
It's a shame that he's not in the Hall of Fame, number one. But when you talk about a highlight reel of big plays, that's a guy that had at least 2 or 3 every game. I mean, what he did to draw double teams, triple teams, still make sacks, and to keep him from getting in the Hall of Fame is a travesty. That's in my opinion, it's a travesty. And I know Blaze can relate to this. Blaze played the same time. Blaze met Mark probably numerous times. And I just feel when we talk big plays, that's the name of the guy that comes to mind to me.
Yeah.
Well, I started the conversation out by pointing out you. And again, I'm a really upfront person about success. And my success has come from many, many different people on the field and off. I mean, I don't learn to be the player I am without George O'Leary. I don't learn to be a good father without George O'Leary. I don't learn to finish the job unless I'm coached by George O'Leary. I mean, the other people have added to me. My mother's beliefs added to my motivation in every move I made. And that is a fact. And your big plays, they're beautiful. But they come from some other part of you. Yes, some players, great instincts. Know when to jump a pass. Know when to, a trip as a DB, when to close on it. I mean, some people just have that. You see it in the NFL all the time. But, man, when you're looking at little kids or high school or even young college kids, man, it's a team game. And people need to look at the high school, the youth level, the early, smaller college level, and understand, man, the beauty of the game lies in who's doing what for you. Who's doing what? And we have a great show called The 4-Wheel Drive, and I'm not going to walk away with, it was all me, man. I'm the playmaker. No, man, no. Without that man right near me, without Jamie and Tim, well, even if you put Tim on an island alone, Tim Green wouldn't be anything. The same thing with Jamie. And we all know it. Down deep, we know it. And that's the beauty of where we're at right now is, hey, man, this is the ultimate team game. And don't get confused. when the press and the media talk about the individual, because that's misleading. Football's about 11 on 11, team on team.
Yeah, you can see it in the championship games. You see it every winning team, and we had a winning team in Liverpool. We went 10-0. We were playing Oswego High School, who we lost to the 2 previous years. Right before halftime, I thought they might throw an outcut to get out of bounds, so I jumped the outcut and took it back to the house. And that was a huge play. I think I had 7 or 8 interceptions in high school. Well, that's the only one I remember. And then one other time in the NFL, my first game in the NFL, I was supposed to start at free safety, and our strong safety got sick. So I moved over to strong safety the day of the game against the Lions. I ended up having 2 picks, pick 6, and fumble recovery, and caused another. So I caused 4 turnovers that game. We come back and won the game, my first game in the NFL. So those were big plays that I'll always carry with me and remember. But Billy, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask you guys this. We all coached, and I'm going to go back a few years, and we're talking a little bit about coaching right now. Now, we talk about big plays, and we talk about, and I mentioned those players that you coached or had on your team that were always around, seemed like they were always around the football, always the guy to pick up a fumble, always the guy to be around the ball and to be in that. Now, and I'm not going to pump up Paulie's head, but I'm going to go back to high school, and I think about when we played offense. Paul Tripoli was the guy that was the big play guy on our offense that I can remember. When we played defense, it was Mark Berryhill that made the big pop, the big hit. Those guys, as when they go on, they just got that knack to be around the football.
They do.
Make that interception, to make that big play. It seems like there's – now, do you guys see that same thing as far as when you were coaching, when you were doing
and we had it with Junior Seau, man. Junior Seau was an instinctive player. And it would drive coaches nuts because by the X's and the O's, hey, he's supposed to go and fill the A gap inside out, whatever it might be, and he would go to the C to get to the A. But he knew when to.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally knew when to. And so a guy like Bill Armsbar, or our DC, said, hey, let him go. Don't ruin a player by strapping him down if he's, like Billy said, a playmaker. If he's a playmaker and he has that instinct, let him play. And who's going to clean him up? We'll clean him up. Me and Sean Lee. Back in the day, me and Billy Pendot. We'll clean him up. We'll make sure that Tim or Jamie or the backers are right. We'll give Bernard a chance. We'll make him right. And that's Junior Seau, that was a great example of a guy who what? I mean, you let him play football.
Right.
And when you do, man almighty, you can take all the credit privately you want as a coach. Look at what I did, but down deep inside, you know damn well you did nothing other than let the guy play football if he was that good.
Yeah, you don't fix something that's not broke. I remember Coach Brian telling Mel Moore a story. Mel Moore passed it on to Nick Saban before he passed away, and Nick Saban's now passing it on to others. As a matter of fact, he wanted to change. Coach Saban wanted to change Mark Ingram when he was running to the left instead of carrying it in his left hand. He wanted him to carry it in his right.
All that stuff.
And he said, no. Don't change something that ain't broke. And so that's
we have a tendency as coaches, right, to want everything so clean and so by the book that we actually take a certain player or two and ruin them.
Right.
We need to understand when to pull off and have the courage and the confidence to let a great player be a great player. And we had some of that with George O'Leary with Jamie Kimmel, right, Billy? Jamie had a tendency to be able to do things that a lot of us weren't able to do. So at times, hey man, let him take the inside or the outside. We'll make him right.
Yeah, there's guys that run to the ball. that other guys don't have that instinct. When play goes away, and I'll give another example on how coaches can recognize this. Coach Bryant came to this town and was looking at a big fullback at Tate High School back in the early 80s. And he kept seeing this guy named Rocky Colburn show up in the film every single time that the ball was downed, whether it was a pass or a run. Rocky was in the frame at the ball when it was there. So that everybody was, he was recruiting, everybody was talking about this all-state guy, big 200-pound guy. And Coach Bryant said, I want him. And he pointed to Rocky Colburn, who was 170 pounds, soaking wet, but he would strike you like a 200-pounder. And he had a motor, that would not stop. And that's what coaches, one of those guys that, and that's what makes big plays, guys that have a motor like that.
Well, I mean, exactly. You think about when, we were around O'Leary for a lot of years, and you think about when we got on grass, what do we have to do? It was run. You ran when you were on grass. You were moving on grass. You didn't walk on grass, and you played to the whistle, and that meant get around the football. What happens when you're around the football? When you got 11 guys around the football, big plays happen. That's all about playing from whistle to whistle.
Yeah. Some guys can recognize it. Some coaches can't. Some coaches stress it. Some coaches don't.
Yeah, but I do feel sorry, though. I do feel sorry for some of the young people you see that just don't have the instincts. I mean, I was at Finlandia, and we had some guys that were just sort of like going left, and the ball was going right in front of their eyes, going right, and they're going the opposite way. And I'm looking at them saying, "What are you doing?" Well, I'm going to go make the play. The play went the other way.
Yeah.
And he's standing in the middle of the field, like looking around, like, oh, yeah, the ball's over there. It went right in front of you. And rather than yell at a dude, you realize after a certain amount of time that some people don't have that. They just don't have that.
Those are the guys you moved to offense.
There's I heard a coach say one time there's three types of people. There's three types of people. You find those, and you find them on the football field all the time. You find those guys that don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
That's one group. Number two, you find guys that's watching what's going on. And then you find the third group that makes things happen, man. What's going on?
You're right.
Those are the three types of ball players, three types of human beings, actually. And good subject. Big plays.
I want to throw one quick tip in before we go. It's Olympic year. And, going back a week, we talked about visualization. Now, I touched on this with Paulie. I'm watching the snowboarding. I'm watching some of the stuff you're doing. I don't understand. I've never been on skis in my life. Never in my life. And I'm watching these guys before they go through the gate. The guy's doing his moves. He's visually going through the whole routine he's going to do.
Whole routine, yeah.
At about 70 miles an hour, he's going. It's going to be happening. Now you talk about visualization. This is what we talk about in sports. Not to get off the subject, but this is vital to being the best you can be in any sport. Any.
Yep.
Better results, right?
Good point.
Better results.
Yeah.
Visualization brings you to the big play.
Yeah.
It puts you in the right situation to make the big play.
Yeah, snow skiers. Michaela Schifrin was doing this up at the top of the hill.
Yeah, you see that? Yeah.
Visualizing what she was going to do.
I love it.
So for y'all that missed the show last week, just go back and they're all archived. So go back and watch visualization.
Just think about the bobsledders. There's 4 or 5 different turns in those tunnels. They're reading that, and before they even get in the sled, they're turning,
Yeah,
they're covering every one of those turns. That's all
Well said, man. Really is.
mental visualization and then produce it.
mental reps. That's right. Seeing it.
Yeah,
All
very
right.
well said. Good
This
stuff.
this show is dedicated to our high school coach Erv Chambliss, who passed away yesterday. We love you, Erv. Yeah, rest in peace, my friend. Job well done. We're everybody's gonna miss you, Erv. We love you. Thanks for being on the show, guys.
Hey,
Great,
man, we
man.
love you guys. Take care of
Take
yourselves.
care, boys. Take care.
So long. Be well. So long. Wow. Yeah, the show is for that man right there. One of a kind. Stay tuned for these important messages. Love you, Erv. So long, everybody.
When it comes to buying your next car, truck, or SUV, you need a team that puts you first. Here at the Sandy Sansing dealerships, we're proud to serve Pensacola and the Gulf Coast with the best selection, trusted service, and deals that work for your family. Just like great coaches build great teams, Sandy Sansing builds lasting relationships with every customer who walks through our doors. Because when it comes to finding your next vehicle, there's only one name to remember. Sandy Sansing can.
75 years of service in high tech today. It's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348. High tech is a term often applied to advanced services and products in today's marketplace. And today, glass is much more than a simple pane of brittle, see-through stuff we hit baseballs through when we were kids. Glass is now a product with unique flexibility in both performance and application. And Pensacola Glass Company is growing right along. That's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time.
That's you trying to fix the plumbing yourself to save a few bucks. Doing things yourself doesn't always end well. The same goes for insurance. That's why Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and offer discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance. Because sometimes you need a professional to get the job done right. That's simple human sense.
My name is Steve Reynolds. I'm the manager and owner of Cordova Lanes, and we help keep your mind out of the gutter. Cordova Lanes is part of the community of Pensacola. Being here for 43 years, we've entertained more people than any other bowling center in the city. We sell fun for a living. Cordova Lanes is located at 2111 Airport Boulevard in Pensacola, behind Cordova Mall. Come on out and see us at Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Thank you.
Over 30 years, you have seen the orange Beck signs all over the Gulf Coast listing a property for sale or lease. Beck Partners is your trusted advisor in commercial real estate, property management, commercial and personal insurance. Senior Vice President David Valletto has been with Beck Partners since 1989. Take advantage of his wealth of knowledge by calling him today at 982-7352. 982-7352. Extensive experience in all aspects of leasing, sales, management, and site selection will make sure your expectations are exceeded.